Let's talk CRKT knives today. You want to do that? Good budget knife brand. It's cold out today. We've had some good weather lately here in Indiana. It's been up around 50 to 60 degrees on occasion with some sun. Today the sun's out. Here, check it out. So you can see the sun coming in, but it's cold. Frosty cold, actually. There's my boy Big E up there. Check him out. Old Big E. Big E Knives. Check him out. Subscribe to Big E. Good dude. All right, so I'm going to talk about CRKT knives today a little bit. I've got this funny relationship with certain brands of knives in my head. So I literally have some favorite knives now, or have had. CRKT, Kershaw, SOG. Not much, not really SOG as much, but brands like that. You know, the brands that kind of They let you own a knife at a very, very fair price. And a lot of times, sometimes they make those knives pretty darn good and you end up liking them a lot. But then they'll have a knife that seems to have equal materials and they're selling it for a lot more money and you don't really know why. It confuses you sometimes. They do have higher end levels. Kershaw has, they have the launch, which are automatics, but Kershaw has really nice knives that have really good, great materials and stuff like that, and you got to pay over $100 for them. So does CRKT. A lot of times CRKT has expensive knives, and you kind of like looking at them saying, why are they asking so much for that knife? I don't know, because I don't buy them. You know why? Because I like CRKT's budget realm. I really do. I like where they're at when they are in the $30 range, even $20 range, but $30 to under $50 range. How about that? I like them in the under $50 range. One of my favorite pocket carries last year was the CRKT Polar. It was a big surprise knife for me, believe it or not. Now, it seems like a small knife, but it's got heft to it. It's got feel. It is so cold in this shop right now. I'm going to say it's probably, I don't have a thermometer, but I'm going to say it's probably about 32 degrees in here. Yeah, I just got the fire going. But this has a frame lock, stainless steel materials. I believe this has 9CR steel on it. But it has great action normally. But this knife has, I believe I paid 30 some dollars for this knife. It has big knife feel. It has quality knife feel. I love it. It's not even dull yet, and I used it all year last year. I didn't use it a lot, so, I carried it more than I used it, obviously. It's kind of my MO with knives. I love them so much, but I don't really always fall across a time to use them. When I'm in my shop, I've got a utility knife at a grasp wherever I'm at in here. On my knife table right here, boom, utility knife. A button lock tough built. I've got button lock Milwaukee fastbacks everywhere. I've got my favorite knife is a Cobalt, just a Cobalt folder. This is a good one though. I keep this right on my nice fancy knife table. But today we're going to look at the CRKT Squid. What do you say? All right. So today we're going to look at the Squid. Go drink some coffee. Oh yeah. Just right. We're going to drink some coffee and we're going to look at the CRKT Squid. Now this Squid is a lot like, look, it's got a lanyard on it already. Didn't come with the lanyard. Now this one is smaller than the Polar, but it's very similar in the sense it's stainless steel material. Now the handle is probably about 3/4 of an inch to an inch smaller with it closed. And some people, this isn't the big Polar. I think they make a large Polar, and this is just the regular size one. I don't know. But the Squid has no flipper, just thumb studs. Pilar has a flipper. I like this lanyard on here. It's kind of poppy. It's got this bright green with a black and green epoxy bead. All my lanyards come from a guy named Alan Beasley. Alan Beasley has a couple of YouTube channels. Specifically, Knives I Guess is probably one that you might have seen if you watch me, because he does a lot of shorts, does a lot of videos, but he does a lot of shorts where he's showing the knives, and he's got Dungeons and Dragons dice and stuff, and you might have even seen my Ace of Spades on his table right there. Well, he makes a lot of stuff. He made me a pen. He makes, check these out. These are like epoxy magnets. Star Wars. I got a green Darth Vader. Look at that. Well, he made those for me. He also sent me a bunch of lanyards. So, of course, he doesn't make the cord on the lanyards, but he makes the beads. He'll make the wood beads on a lathe. He makes these on a lathe. These are just epoxy beads that he's mixed different color epoxies. Check him out. His channel's really funny. I get a kick out of him. He's just got this nerdy, funny comedy that he does, in the sense, if you want to call it comedy, I call it comedy. But he's just, it's great. You know, he just really likes knives. He's like a gas station knife guru, if you ask me. That should be the name of his channel. You hear me, Alan? Gas station knife guru. Because you like some funky knives, Alan. I love it. But here, let's get back on this knife right here. Okay, so now this little squid, the Burnley squid, I don't know enough about it. I'm guessing maybe the Burnley might be the designer guy. Jim Burnley. I'm just giving Burnley a first name. Jim Burnley designed this knife. I don't know. Crkt does a good job of having designers. Now let's look at this sucker. All right, this is a cool little drop point knife. If you want to call that a drop, I mean, it could be a spear point. It's hard to tell. I call that a drop point. I like metal handles on knives. I just do. Now, I picked this knife up dirt cheap. Right now on Blade HQ, I think it's 14 bucks, 15. I'm taking a guess in my head, but the price will be right there. I like this. Now, this is not going to be fidgety whatsoever. I can't even get a full flip off of this. You got to ride it all the way up. At least I do. You know, it's just not a fidget knife. Whatever. It has the little holes in the stainless steel scales, for probably more for looks, if you ask me, but weight retention, that kind of thing, or weight relief. This is what I like. I like budget knives that are practical, strong, durable, rigid, all that stuff. I like it. Now, the pocket clip's not reversible in any sense or fashion. It's kind of deep carry. And the blade metal is 8CR13 MOV. A lot of people don't love that blade metal. They at least want 9CR. I get it. You know, I do. I get it. Enough about that. This isn't a knife sharpening video. This is a video about the Burnley Squid, Crkt Burnley Squid. This is the last knife I got on my haul from Blade HQ, and this was the cheapest knife, I believe, on the list. I'm not going to say this is my favorite knife. My favorite knife out of all the knives I got, because let's go through that real quick. The Essie Zancudo. Essie has a flipping knife. They have a flipping knife. I like that. It was like, you know, instead of using the F word. The Boker button lock flipping knife. That was new for me, for my channel, was having a Boker that wasn't an automatic or a fixed or a joint, slip joint. Mother flipper. Petrified fish. The Loco. Close race between the Loco and the Kershaw Highball. This Kershaw Highball blew my socks off, and it probably did so because it's bold. This is a bold knife. No thumb studs. No flipper. No front flip. No nothing. But it's a flipper knife. And you ask, how? Well, there's a ledge. God, it's so cold in here. There's a ledge. A very prominent ledge on this knife that allows your finger to grip that and fly this knife open. This was my favorite out of the 5. Then the Petrified Fish, then the Essie, then the Boker, and then the Squid. But I didn't pay much for the squid. And this is a great fifth pocket knife. I'll tell you that right now. This will fit down in your fifth pocket. And you're pulling out a halfway decent knife to cut anything you want, and who cares? And like I said, sharpening it's really easy. All right, guys, that's all I got. A Burnley squid on a Tuesday or a Monday, whatever this is. It's a Tuesday, right? And that's it for that. I've got some more knives coming. I got some doozies coming.